I think that one of the biggest mistakes that we can make as parents is how we talk to our children and what we set them up for and what we prepare them for. We have to really be aware of what we're saying to them and how it's going to affect them later on down the road. One of the things that I thought about that popped in my mind was don't tell your children when they reach a certain age that they'll be able to do what they want to do. The common phrase is, when you turn 18, you can do what you want to do. When you turn 18, you'll be grown, you do what you want to do. That's not really a concrete statement, because you're actually setting them up to, they're going to do what they want to do, and then they're going to find themselves, some of them will find themselves in situations they can't get out of, because they're going to get buck wild. Everything you told them they couldn't do, they're going to do it, especially when they turn 21. I think that we have to prepare them from an early age. The early teens, I say, at 13, 14, playtime is not necessarily over. There's things that they need to do. There's things they need to take care of. They have to be taught how to maneuver in the little circle that they're in now, whether they're at home, church, because that's probably, family outings. That's probably one of the things that they're going to be doing the most, is they're going to be around y'all. But once they start seeing things and, oh, I want a job, or I want this, I want that, you're going to teach them, hey, man, you're going to take you some time to get to this point, give them real good examples and have them talk to people who can really explain what it's like to step out on your own and try to be an adult. Some of the things that I think should take place is that don't tell them that. Just don't. Tell them when they turn 18, they're grown. They can do what they want to do. It's a misleading expectation that, when they reach that age, and you can't continue to treat them like children. So when they become adults, and you tell them they could do what they want to do, you can't, at the same time, you can't restrict them from certain things. Like, we have parents that are like this, like, oh, well, I can understand the coming in late. Like, okay, you got a key. Please don't be coming in my house 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. That's out of respect. You should do that. You should understand it. And you don't truly understand that until you get your own place. You want them to understand boundaries right off the bat. You want them to be respectful not only of you, but of other people. They may find themselves in a situation far from home, and then they got to sleep on somebody's couch, or they got to, they find themselves in those type of things. And it's like, well, okay, I'm gonna turn my music down. Let me not come in late. Let me not do this. Let me not do that. But I'm drifting away from the point. You can't continue to treat them like children. You can't just be like, all right, so you're 18. You need to be in the house by 12 o'clock. Come on, man. Let's not be so ridiculous. They're gonna want to let loose. They're gonna get jobs. They're gonna start working, and they're gonna be tired from working their jobs. Their little, part-time job or whatever the case may be. And they're gonna want to get out and hang out with friends and stay out late. They're gonna want to be away from y'all. They're gonna be placed times where they're just like, I don't want to go home. I don't want to go home. I just want to be free right now. And some of us don't know the stress that we cause on our children. So they don't want to come home. They just want to chill out, and they just want to go where they want to go. That's okay, because you told them once they turn 18, they grown. But you can't send them out there without no handbook, and not have them understand the consequences of the actions, and them not holding themselves accountable. We really you can't call them adults and then treat them like babies. I say set them up for the future. When they're 12 and 13, hey, do you want to drive? Hey, come outside. Don't ask them, do they want to drive? Just say, hey, get in the driver's seat real quick. And then show them about the controls of the car. Tell them about the car. That's easy. Tell them about the controls, brakes, and all that type of stuff. Automatics is pretty easy way to teach them how to drive. I really probably wouldn't waste my time with a 5-speed because I'm not good at explaining things. But if I was going to teach them, I would teach them automatic and get them comfortable behind the wheel. If you the type of person that you can afford to have an open field, put them in a car that you bought especially for them. That's raggedy, probably something rear wheel or whatever, and say, hey, just drive, hit these obstacles. You know, put cones in the way. Let them drive without you being there, and they'll learn how to operate that vehicle, and they'll have fun. They'll become accustomed to that. That's if you had a space for them to do such a thing. But them having a vehicle that they can move around on their own is going to be critical, especially in the future, because they're going to have to know how to drive. I know so many people who do not know how to drive. And there's a handful of people that are just afraid to drive because they was in a car accident or whatever the case may be. They have anxiety. That's understandable. Okay. But those who haven't experienced some kind of traumatic experience like that, teach them how to drive. That's the first step in the right direction. Once they learn how to drive, encourage them to get their license, teach them about vehicle maintenance, those type of things. And then they're going to be, hey, look, this is your car. Drive to work. Get up on your own. Go to work. Get your money. Or whatever you go, or you're going to go to school. Show them what it means to be responsible. Show them what it means to have responsibilities and all those things. You're going to let them stay at the house? Give them a little bill to pay. Allow them to, give them have them pay their own phone bill and say, hey, I need you to contribute $100 on the groceries and $100 towards the electric bill. Because they're going to be taking showers. They're going to be eating. And I think that's fair. $200 a month. Who is paying $200 a month? That's a drop in the bucket these days. Don't let your child come up without responsibilities. And you tell them, hey, this is what rent is like these days. This is what car payments are like these days. This is what car maintenance is like. This is what house maintenance is like. This is what the job market is like. Give them an idea of how deep the pool really is. Don't just send them out there. Consistently talk to them about these things from the time that they're 13, and they'll look at you like, what does that mean? It doesn't matter. They'll catch on one way or the other. We can't afford to treat them like they're babies after they are 18 and up. We just can't. Always let them know that they can depend on you. Let them know that. Remind them of that. Ask questions about their day, their job. Hey, how was work? What happened? Everything good? How you get along with your boss? How's your car running? Making any noises? Did you check your tires? Did you check your oil? That type of stuff. Even when they get to a point where they're not doing these things themselves, they can hold themselves accountable because they didn't do it. Not because mom and dad didn't do it. They can say, oh, I kind of slacked off on that. And we shouldn't get mad because they did, because that's their expense. But you being a parent, you're going to say, hey, I'm not going to let them fall too far. That's okay. But don't give them the idea that you're going to bail them out every time. Show them how much money did you get paid this week? Oh, you got this much? Okay, look, you need to give me X amount of dollars, or you need to save X amount of dollars for a rainy day, just in case something happening. You blow a tire, you need to get a new car, whatever. You need to be able to have these things in place and going for them so they can get a perspective of what they want out of life, what to expect out of life, the ups and downs, things of that nature. Encourage them to come to you whenever things might be too tough for them. You don't want them going to their friends. You really don't want them to go into somebody else that they trust, because that person may not be giving them the best advice. And make sure that you're giving them the best sound advice based on who they are and what they expect out of life and how you raised them. And it's okay for you to double check your morals too, to make sure you got your stuff together, that you teaching them right. Give them serious responsibility. I already said that. Make sure they have a car. Make sure they have transportation. Show them how to be independent. Show them how to catch the bus if they absolutely don't want to drive. Show them how to use an Uber. Show them how to be safe in these situations. Show them how to maneuver when they have to maneuver, because you're not always going to be there. Show them the basics, and they can go on from there. If you're going to have them living with you, I told mine, I said, y'all can stay as long as y'all want. I encourage y'all to stay as long as y'all want until y'all wear out your damn welcome. You're not going to stay forever. You know, I don't expect you to, but I encourage you to stay as long as you want. It's going to be easier for you. You know, you can see how you get to running things, see how you got to pay bills, see how this goes, see how that goes. And, you know, you have a better idea of how to move. Remember this, parents, that they're going to be your children as long as y'all living. You shouldn't be anything less than a parent as long as you're breathing, as long as your child is alive. Unless your child is just super hard-headed and they don't want to mess with you and they don't want to rock with you, even then, slide that love in there. Slide that consideration in and say, hey, man, you doing all right? I'm just checking up on you, making sure you good. Hey, here go $50. Get you some groceries. Or how about if you're not doing anything today, I'm gonna take grocery shopping today. Put groceries in the house. Especially if they living by themselves. You know what I'm saying? Not if somebody mooching off of them. Not if they got some lame ass roommate. I encourage kids, if you're gonna move out, buy something, get something that you can afford by yourself and have your own. Because you don't want to have to depend on your roommate when your roommate is a straight up butthole or they just not responsible. They lose their job and now you got to carry the rent. What's going to happen? They're going to go back home and mess your credit up. Well, both of y'all credit going to be messed up, but you just don't want that to happen to your child. So you at least want them to be at a place where they can really, when they leave the nest, you don't want to push them out because you don't know what kind of emotional damage they're going to receive or acquire from that. You really just want them to be in a place where they could function as adults and not be a burden to society when they leave your house. At least they can be responsible and get up and go to work and take care of themselves and their responsibilities, even if they're not going to be super rich, you know. Even if they're not going to be as successful as you think they should be, they can operate in society without causing a whole lot of trouble and damage to what's already there. So I hope y'all was able to follow along with that. I know sometimes I lose. I get off track a little bit, but it's okay. It's all right. So, hey, be persistent as parents and love your children till the day you die, because you always have some sort of authority over them until that point comes, until one of y'all pass away. Don't think for a second that you don't. If they choose not to listen to you, that's on them, especially if you spitting good advice. So be the bestest parent that you know you could be. Peace out.